Hi there, all of you watching Sara's Kitchen Garden, and welcome to my polytunnel this afternoon. It's almost 2:30, I think, and I have left my workroom and my computer to go out in the polytunnel to have a small chat with you. And I made an announcement at Facebook earlier today saying that, yeah, I will be doing a live stream from the garden and going out measuring some temperatures in my garden beds. But that was completely wrong. I am sorry about that because I had other plans. And I also said that I would be out in the garden to do this live stream about 3 o'clock Swedish time. And that was completely wrong too. And obviously I didn't think about the light. It's not possible to do a live stream in the garden in Sweden in 3 o'clock in the afternoon because it's freaking dark. So I just changed my plans, and I hope you will be watching this anyhow later on. So we are now in the polytunnel, and as you can see, there are a few green things here in the garden, and some of it you won't even see because they are all covered with different things. And this is our winter food. We do not eat from polytunnel yet. We still have food from the main kitchen garden, and it's nearly, I think, 3 or 4 weeks ago since I visited Stockholm to show some of my vegetables in a quite large TV show, and we still have that kind of vegetables like Savoy cabbages and broccoli, etc., fresh in the fridge. So we eat from that, and let me guess, in like January or February we will start eating the lamb's lettuce and miner's lettuce, etc. That's still in here. And I also have, if I turn the camera, you will see over here, maybe, there are some kale and also more Savoy cabbage that I keep in the polytunnel for later on. So I am having plans for this time with you. You see, 2 days ago I got this envelope, and it contains seeds that I bought a while ago from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds in United States. And I also ordered seeds from this place last year, and I was so happy about it, so I decided to do it once again. It's in Sweden, we have this very special climate. Hi Susan, nice to see you again. I did a live stream for my Swedish viewers earlier this day, and Susan was one of them watching, and now you are here again watching in English. Anyhow, when growing vegetables in a very specific climate like Sweden and Norway and Finland and Canada, etc., it's you cannot choose like what kind of seeds you will find in the store. Just pick someone. You have to choose quite careful with some of the vegetables, the varieties, to get seeds that can stand our cold climate. For example, we are now in December, and if I make sowings now, I have to choose careful what kind of vegetables and what kind of varieties to get the varieties that can stand the cold. Yeah, and Molly, you are back too. Hi. Right, so I usually buy my seeds from the Swedish seeds companies, and most of it I order from internet because I love ordering seeds from internet. But it's nice, and some of the things, they are quite, it's standard varieties in Sweden, and every year they present like news, of course. But then looking at seeds, seed companies abroad, you can find so many things that will never show up in Sweden and other Nordic countries. So when I found this Baker Creek, you will find it at rareseeds.com on the internet, I was blown away because there are so so many fantastic varieties. And you cannot grow all of them in Sweden for sure, because they will like ripen in a very long time, and we don't have that long season in Sweden, and we don't have that like hot temperatures, etc. So yeah, now I'm suddenly a bit unsure if it's a US company, isn't it? It's not like a Canadian Baker Creek Heirloom Seed. I have to check that up. I'm sorry, I should have. But now I got this envelope 2 days ago, and it took me a while now to find it when I was going out. And you know, living with a 2-year-old guy in the house, and when sometimes things disappear, you get very nervous. I was without the keys to my car for nearly 2 months because he went away with them. But I finally found it. And now I am going to share this opening process with you guys and talk a bit about what I bought. Right? Exciting. To me, it's very exciting. And here they are. I think when I buy seeds from a seed company, I get very excited. When I buy seeds from abroad, I try to order quite a lot. So I don't just order like 3 seed packages. It's a waste of time and money. I order a lot. Some of it I will save for later on. And if I find like varieties that I'm shaking a bit, that I really have, that I see great, like a great potential with, or I guess I have great use with, I buy 2 or 3 packages. Whoops! Oh, that's nearly all of them. You see? Ooh, it's a treasure. Right, I will try to tell you something about each and one of them, if I remember why I bought them. First package is this, and this is a mini Tamarillo. I don't know really how I should pronounce that in English, but Tamarillo. You can grow this variety in like a greenhouse, but in Sweden you will find the normal size, and this is a mini Tamarillo. I just thought it was nice. Here is a strawberry, and I don't know exactly why I chose this. I read here it's a variety from Poland that can be planted from seeds and harvested in the first year. Yes, that's the thing, that I can actually sow this right now in wintertime, as with other strawberries, and it will produce berries next year. Träska is the variety. Yeah? And here, Cabbage, Golden Acre. And this is, I think I chose it because it's very fast growing. And in only a couple of days, I will start my sowings of cabbage for next season. Not all the cabbage heads or cabbage hearts that I will grow for next season, but I will start very early with like 8 seeds for 8 plants. And I usually grow early Jersey Wakefield and the Savoy is early Jersey Wakefield is a cabbage with a pointed head, and I also grow a Savoy cabbage for both 3, and it's a fast growing Savoy cabbage. But then I found this one, and it will mature in only 65 days. So I will try to grow this Golden Acre as well for this project. And I sow the seeds in January indoors, and I transplant them in February, and then I carry them out here in a very, very cold polytunnel, and I plant them here in quite cold soil. I start harvesting in April, and I can harvest like big cabbage heads in May. After that they will bloom, of course, and then it's not worth it. This is a carrot. I love growing carrots. It's nice, and the children, they really enjoy the different colors. And this is Gnif. It's a very old and rare Swiss laundry. I don't know. It's nice. Here are some yellow heart winter Choi. I don't quite remember without seeing the picture, but I guess it's some kind of pak choi. I tend to look for like fast-growing varieties of Asian kale and cabbage that I can grow in springtime and also in late autumn, fall. Both here in the polytunnel and also in the main kitchen garden. And I especially look for varieties that do not have, you know, the closed heads or a heart. I will try to find varieties with an open heart or head, because in that way I don't have to wait for them to form this head. I can pick the leaves one by one and they will keep producing more and more leaves in the middle. Here's another one, but this one I know. It's called tennis ball lettuce. It's no picture on this one, and it's a very small variety of lettuce that forms a lettuce head. And it's the same thing with like lettuce as with the fast-growing cabbage, for example, that I can grow them and start the seeds very early in season, and I can then harvest like fully matured lettuce heads. I don't have to pick them leaves by leaves. So that's nice. It's good. You who have followed me a while, you know that I look for like mini varieties, because most often they grow very, very fast. It's really good. I actually got a question after today's live stream on my Swedish YouTube channel about the black beans. I have grown a coca bean, black coca bean, I think, and it's not to be found in Sweden. I got seeds from my sister. She grows a kitchen garden, a lovely kitchen garden in Ireland, outside Cork, Hannah, and I don't know where she bought the seeds actually, but this bean I found at rareseeds.com, Hokkaido black soya bean. And I mean, it's a black soya bean. I just love growing soya beans, and we eat them nearly every day, me and the family. We fry them like edamame beans, you know, where you fry the whole pod. So when finding this, a black soya bean, I was like, oh, I must have it. And when I first checked, the seeds, they were all gone. But then I checked again, I think a few days later, and they were in stock. So this will be really interesting. It's from Japan, and it says that it makes an excellent edamame snack or brew as a tea. Right. I don't know how it is to grow that, but it will be exciting. Here's a variety of Chinese lettuce. I have grown it before, and I actually have plants in my window inside. And this is a type of Chinese cabbage that will not form this head. I can easily harvest it leaf by leaf, and it's so useful early in spring. And you who watch from Sweden, you know that I have my own seeds collection together with Nelson Garden, a seed company in Scandinavia. And we have actually tried to find a variety of this, but it's not listed in the European Union, so we can't bring it into Sweden. So meanwhile, we try to find it. I buy this variety. It's Shirimen Hakusawi is the variety, and I have another one, I think, in here. Now we come to eggplants. I am just dying for those fruits. This Ukraine variety, and diamond eggplant, and it's described as an early variety. I don't know exactly why I chose this one, because it has no like extra super color or anything. It looks quite normal. But yeah, I know. I think the fruits are very, very tiny. It's like a finger, I think. What is eggplant? Äggplanta aubergine in Swedish. Eggplant. And in Sweden you can actually grow eggplants in like a polytunnel. Hi Benny, again. You are watching here too. It's so nice of you to keep me company while doing this. Aha, yes, aubergine. And in Sweden I would say you need like a greenhouse, actually. This is another kale without a picture. This variety is it's called Cabbage Brunswick, and it's a large drumhead cabbage, very, very cold hardy. And you see, I look for the small varieties, I look for fast growing, and I look for cold hardy. A fall and winter type of cabbage that can be stored well, and it's exactly what this garden needs. Yes, very, very good. And here's a Chinese, it's a celery, look, with white like stems. It's described as a delicate and delicious Chinese variety. And Asian celery is celebrated as more tender and easier to grow than European like varieties. So I thought that was a must-have. And I think it was 2 years ago, I grew plants of celery indoors, and then I brought them to the polytunnel, and I think I planted them here in very early spring. So they had to stand a bit cold, and they flowered a few weeks or months later. But until then, I could harvest really, really small stalks of celery, and it was delicious, really delicious. Here you will understand why I chose this variety. It's I thought it was an eggplant, but it's a melon. Pear, very, very small fruits. It's like grapevines, I think. I actually thought it was, but no, it's melon. I think it was. No, I don't know actually why I bought this, except that they are very small, and I think the kids will like it. The text on the back is too long for me. The small seem to be very, very small. I can't even feel them. Did they actually put seeds in this? Don't know. I'll have to get back to that. I enjoy this very much, and I know maybe you don't have the time to stay with me all the way through this, but the children, they could choose corn, and this is a pink mini popcorn. I have never seen that in Sweden. It's a bit tricky to choose corn varieties to grow in Sweden, because it's not likely that all the varieties you can find from like Nepal or Africa or whatever will mature in Sweden. Our season is very short, but this one I think was described as a fast growing variety, so I have great hope for that. Beans, look at this variety. It's no picture, but I can tell you it looks pretty much the same on a photo. And this is a bean with green beans. It looks like small, what you call those stones that are very expensive, and you wear them at rings and etc. It's called Lima Bean Henderson's bush. Yeah. It's a bit tricky to buy beans as well as corn abroad, because some of them need really long time to mature. I have grown like Lima beans here in the polytunnel. It's the big white, really big white beans, and you have to grow them like indoors, so they are quite big plants and then plant them here in the polytunnel, and they need a long season to eventually mature, if they even do. I think I had 3 pods or something last year, not much, but I will give it another try. A pepper. I don't know why I chose this, really. Very productive, it says, so let's hope for that. I think they will, I can harvest them both green, yellow and red. Now, no, here is this is what happens, you know, when I don't practice or prepare myself. This is the eggplant with a very tiny fruits, little fingers, it says, and definitely looks as fingers. And this is also a variety that's, I think it grows quite fast, and it will hopefully mature in not too long time. I think last year I had harvest from eggplant in June, and made me very, very happy. Red Mountain Winter Kelches. And Kelches, I don't know if you have grown it. It's in Swedish you would say, I think, sparrissallat, and it grows basically like a Brussels sprout, with a long stem and leaves on top. It's like a palm, and you harvest the leaves and have it for salad, a salad bowl, and then you can harvest the stem and you peel it, so you get to the inner like core, and then you can boil it or fry it like a asparagus. I didn't quite like it when I tried it the first time, so I'm actually a bit surprised that I bought this one, but it's a red variety. I will have to Google it before I plant it, so I am 100% sure that I know what I'm talking about. Oh, here's some kind of freeze seeds, and oh, this makes me so happy. I will show you this, because last time when I ordered from this from rareseeds.com, I had this variety as a gift, and I did not order any tomato varieties because it's not legal to import like Solanum varieties to Sweden from States. So I didn't. But this one I actually grew from seeds last year that I had for a gift, and it was one of this year's best tomatoes. I really, really like them. Thank you. Here is another variety of Chinese cabbage with this head that will not form a heart. And I think Paitsai was the variety that I had best result from last spring, this spring 2018. I think I sowed the plants indoors and then transplanted them out here in polytunnel in a big container, big pot. And eventually the plants will bloom in spring because it gets too hot here in the polytunnel. And this is what happens in a climate like Sweden, where you start the season very cold, and it's cold quite long and dark. So the plants get a bit stressed about it being dark and cold, and in May they start to bloom. But with this variety you can actually force it to survive a bit longer by cutting away the flowers, and it will produce like sprouts on the sides of the stem, and it's really, really nice. One of my children, he just adores the Chinese cabbage, so by choosing this variety I think I can give him more and more of the Chinese lettuce. Just Chinese cabbage, sorry. Okay, this is another variety of soya bean that I could not resist. I have grown a Swedish variety called Fiskeby. It's very suitable for our climate, but it gives me very small pods. they are small but very tasty, and they mature also, and that's the most important thing, I think. I don't know how many kilos I have from last summer's harvest, but it's plenty. I mean, plenty. And what we do is that we fry them with the whole pods in olive oil and some salt, and then we eat them. We put the whole pod in the mouth, and then it's like eating crayfish or something. You chew on the pod and you get this bean in your mouth, and it's so tasty. And my youngest, Lua, he's 2 years old, he just loves it. And this one is called Midori Giant, and it's a very big soya bean. I hope the description says so. So I am not sure how well it will do in my climate. I will try to grow it, I think, both in polytunnel and also in a very good place in the kitchen garden. Maybe where I can shelter it in some kind of under a lid or something. Don't know yet. Now we're talking. And you guys reading the Swedish blog, you may think this is familiar, the name Beet Giant Yellow Eckendorf. And a while ago, I don't think we have translated that blog post for you in English yet, but a while ago, my children, they were up on our upper floor or above the upper floor, you know, just under the roof, where this house is nearly 200 years old. So they have collected all kind of, you know, trash and scrap on that floor, and they said, we found plenty of seeds. There's seeds, and they brought me, I mean, it was a bag, it must have been a kilo or whatever, with a beet seed. Unfortunately, it's been prepared with this poison. I don't know how to describe this in English, but you know, it's to make sure that no disease or anything will get to these plants. And so there's a huge like poison sign on the seeds package, and I was a bit afraid. And they don't use this anymore, this type of very, very dangerous to people, and I don't feel that comfortable about having it in my own house. But the seeds in this package was this Beet Giant Eckendorf, and it's a beet that you grow for, like, do you say fodder? It's for animals. Yeah, animal food. It's traditional beet for animal food. And so this is what they have grown in this space before we came here, long before we came here, when they still did farm this place and kept animals. So, and we found the red variety, but at rareseeds.com I found the yellow one. So I am actually going to do a small raised bed with this variety, just because it's funny. I was very happy finding it. Beni Kodama. This is a watermelon. I don't know why I chose it. I can't find any information about it. Maybe because it's very, very small, or because it's a very, very large melon. I don't know, but Beni Kodama. We'll have to get back to you about that. Carrots. And the color says it all. Black Nebula. This is actually the darkest carrot that you can find available. So I had to buy that, of course. And you see, another package with the black soya bean, because I am not sure I will find it next year if I like it and if it grows well. So I'll buy 2 seed packages. As with the large soya bean, Midori Giant, 2 packages. Only 3 seed packages left. And this is buckwheat. I have never grown buckwheat before, but I couldn't resist it. It's I don't know how you describe it in English, but you grow it to get a lot of bees and insects into your garden, lovely flowers. So I am dreaming about having at least one of my garden beds with flowers for this purpose. I am having a conversation at the moment with a lady who keep bees in the neighbor village, and hopefully she will put some of her, whatever they are called, bees in my garden to help me pollinate things, fruits, berries, vegetables. I have two favorites here. Unfortunately, no, little finger. No, I get a bit disappointed. I must have missed something. Did I? Yeah, I missed. Let's hope. Yes. Oh, I was so disappointed first. All right, I had forgot one. Now this is no picture, but this variety is called Chinese python snake bean. I don't know how python pronounced in English, but this is it's called a snake melon. The pictures are absolutely crazy. It is like an ordinary green bean, like enormous. I can't even fit in the length of it in the picture. It's enormous, and some kind of cross. I don't know, is something like between a melon and a bean, and I will of course grow it in the polytunnel. I don't know if this is like a seed. I'm trying to feel the seeds. I don't know if the seeds are like melons or beans, but it feels like beans. It's, when I watch like a catalog with seeds or anything, and my eyes get stuck on a picture that looks crazy, I sometimes think that I will buy it just because the kids will get happy. And it's not important to me that it will actually be something for me to harvest. It's the excitement of growing things that may be something. Carrots, little finger. And the text says it's a superb baby type carrot with deep orange color. And it's like a very tiny carrot, perfect for like snacks. And it's always welcome in the garden, carrots. And speaking about carrots, there's no picture on the last one, but I can tell you about this. The variety is called manpukuji, and this is a carrot. And speaking about a long bean, this carrot can be like, it's nearly a meter, nearly like 100 centimeters long. It's I think a Japanese variety. And lucky me, it's 300 seeds, and I have never seen anything like this before. And when I see the picture, it's also like a must-have carrot in the garden. I'm not sure I will succeed with it. I will sure not be able to grow it in like a traditional garden bed where I grow carrots usually. So I will have to make something up, and I already have a plan. I don't know if you see this. It's like a big bucket or something. I am thinking about just taking away the bottom of a deep bucket and put it on top of a garden bed and fill it with soil. So I will waste some soil on this type of project, and then I will sow the carrots in there and try to care for them extra and see if we can harvest some really large carrots and long roots. And my plan is to do this as a YouTube video, the sowings and the harvesting process. So let's see if it works. I'm so excited about this. There are a few varieties that I will sow now very early in the season. I think I will try to do some winter sowings of the baby carrots, for example, and with the Chinese varieties with the open heads, I still have seeds left from last year. So I will try to empty those packages before I start this one. There are, I think, two varieties that I couldn't find this year on the internet and this website, and that was the baby dwarf pak choi, and it's a very tiny pak choi. It's like a thumb, and I grew it last spring, both indoors just to see how the plants were looking, and then from winter sowings in spring outdoor in the polytunnel. My fall sowings did not develop well, but I have some sowings that I did maybe in October or November indoors under some extra light. They are so tender, they are so cute. It's really nice. Look, plenty of seeds, and my tradition is to start to sort my seeds packages, my seeds in Christmas Eve. And this year I think I want to start earlier. I really want to start to make some winter sowings already this weekend, because it's perfect weather now when the ground start to melt a bit. We have had a few weeks with really cold weather and snow, and today when I went out, the snow disappears because it's almost freezing but not quite. So I think this weekend will be perfect for me to do a few winter sowings here in the big polytunnel, and even more in the smaller polytunnel. I can't wait. I mean, I have been waiting for this moment. To me, it's like a relief, you know, when winter comes, because in fall I can't really do anything except, you know, cleaning up a bit and fill my buckets with the soil and prepare things. But it's mostly about harvesting and removing dead leaves and try to keep things alive for another week or month. But when snow comes and the cold comes, then I can actually start doing something very useful, like sewing. And that was what I was talking about also in my live stream in Swedish this earlier this day, how important it is to get to know your garden and the temperatures in the garden, because then you know which place you should start sowing in winter sowings, for example. And I know that now after a few years, but I will come back to that in another live stream or another blog post for you guys. Now I hope you check out all material, all articles and recipes at sarabäckmo.com for you following in English and Swedish. Well, you know where to find things at sarabäckmo.se, of course. Thank you all for watching, and I will be so happy if you will leave a comment saying something. If you have ever grown any of these varieties, please let me know, and it may be so that I need to think extra about something with those strawberries or beans or whatever. And I think also that I may have said something strange about some varieties, but I will have to get back to that maybe. And hopefully we'll get to see a few of these varieties in my garden next year. So exciting. Thank you all for watching, and see you another day. Bye bye.